What is going on, everyone? My name is Jared, and today we have, again, the S9 Plus. So this is one of those things that reviewers always do. It's the after 6 months, what do you think sort of review. And it's just about that time. So this has been with my girlfriend now for a long time, and she's used it, she's liked it. I've used it for a while, and I can honestly say it's probably going to be one of the best phones of the year. It has a great camera setup, ton of features like I've mentioned numerous times and other reviewers have mentioned numerous times. It is the jack of all trades. It is great at so many things, but I wouldn't say it's particularly awesome at just one, where the Pixel is really good at software. You know, Samsung is kind of good all around. With that said, my problem mostly with this is still with software and updates. So I believe since my last video, this has received one update. So we are now on the June 1st patch. So last time I did this video, or last time I've talked about this video, this was on February. So it had received no updates since the device release. And that's just unacceptable no matter what. Whether you're Samsung, Apple, LG, Google, that's just not acceptable having one update and not even having any updates since your device release, and then just one. And I've talked about it in several other videos about how Samsung's updates are just not that great. They seem to neglect the unlocked models, and I will still say that they do that. They neglect their unlocked models, maybe not the Exynos Internationals, but definitely the US unlocked. They just don't cater to us. So with that said, would I recommend getting this phone? Yeah, absolutely. It's really good. It's fast, dependable, reliable. They claim it is the fastest phone ever. And it might be for now, but there's a lot of other phones that are coming out shortly. And as far as processing power, Apple's chips are still super powerful and benchmark at a very high score. So with this, Samsung takes great photos. You have your fingerprint sensor where it should be, heart rate monitor, which is fairly accurate. You have some good peripherals like the Gear watches. The new one should be out shortly with the Note 9. And speaking of that, as the new device gets released, you'll probably start seeing the S9 and S9 Plus get a little cheaper with tons of carrier deals. I know I've been seeing models, unlocked models, for around $630, $650. So that is definitely a lot cheaper than the original $900 price with tax. So be on the lookout for that, especially if you do like Samsung and you do like what they're doing. So really, since the updates, nothing has generally changed about the device as far as software and features. There was something to be said that we now have an FM radio built in. I guess they activated it, so there is that, but it's not really, you know, a make or break thing. There hasn't been so many updates to this device. I do believe you're still on Android 8.0, so you have not gotten to 8.1 yet. So that could be an argument for definitely the update sort of side of things. Yeah, you're still on Android 8.0 and you're on Samsung Experience 9.0. So you probably will see the Note come out with Android 8.1, even though Android Pie, which was Android P up until today, Android Pie will probably not be on the Note 9 to start. You'll probably see the Pixel 3 be the first device released with Android Pie. So there's that. Outside of that, I can't really complain about the Galaxy here. I mean, I do wish the battery life was a little better, but it's far from bad. I mean, you can get a day's usage, no problem. As you can see right now, this phone has 32% battery, and it was taken off charge around 6 a.m. So there's that. That's probably moderate to heavy usage. So that's not bad at all. It keeps up with everything. It connects. The big reason why my girlfriend switched to this phone versus something else, she really had a love for Huawei devices, was because it does seem to connect better with Bluetooth accessories. Her Fitbit Ionic watch works with this phone, where it didn't with the Mate 10. You have a lot better accessory support, at least here in the States, with Samsung. I mean, tons of cases, tons of optional stuff. Screen protectors. We got the Whitestone dome glass on this guy. Just has a lot of stuff going for it. We're supposedly going to also get Bixby 2.0, so Bixby still hasn't really gotten any better. It's just still kind of there. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's just there. You still have Google Assistant and everything like that. So really, if you are in the market for a new phone, especially of the Android variety, and you don't really care for the vanilla experience of Pixel and you want the whole, you want the kitchen sink of features, definitely be on the lookout. Since the Note 9 is around the corner, you will see more and more deals on the S9 and S9 Plus. I know T-Mobile always does a buy one, get one with these with bill credits. Tons of carriers do that. But you're soon going to see a discount in price because of the new phones, especially with other phones releasing. Apple's releases are around the corner. They're going to start to be pricing this very, very aggressively to compete and to still sell. And a minute on that, this actually has been commercially not a very good phone for Samsung. Their highest selling phone in the past few years was the S7 and S7 Edge lineup. So the S8 and S9 performed less than the S7, which was the first glass-on-glass design Samsung put out. The S8 did well, and the S9 did better, but not as great as the S8. So it's kind of been a downward slope for Samsung. They're still selling, tons of units, but not as great as they once were. And I think that has to do with the design fatigue of this sort of layout. So now this is the second year we've had this almost identical design, maybe a few millimeters difference in thickness and bezel size, but overall generally the same. Camera placement got tweaked for the better, at least with the S9 Plus and S9 versions compared to their S8 counterparts. So there is that. But there is things that Samsung could start to get on. But I would take this sort of screen, which is such a high resolution, good looking screen, than say a 1080p panel. Or I even like Samsung screens better than LG's OLED screens. They're supposed to get better, but there's something about Samsung that just really resonates with consistency. They're always going to have a good camera, a great screen, decent battery life, and a good build. That's kind of what the consistency with them is all about now, especially since their Note 7 issue. So I think looking forward, you're still going to see that. In the Note 9, you're going to see that. It's not a big redesign. It's just a tweak of what was already here. So I think this year for Samsung was definitely a reforming year. It's like rebuilding a team that loses a lot of players. You're starting to build the building blocks of what's going to be something really special. And I think that is coming with the S10. And probably the S10 Plus. That's the 10th anniversary. I think that's going to be a real big release for Samsung, and this is just a stepping stone until that. Again, with that said, if you pick up this device, you are getting a great camera, a great screen, accurate fingerprint reading. You have very slim bezels. Whether you like or don't like the curved display, that's there. You have a slew of features with the Edge Sense, Samsung Pay, which I will still argue is the best payment method out there, even compared to Apple Pay, just because you can use it at other readers. And really, there's nothing I could really say bad except for the software updates. Not even the software experience, because even that has grown on me personally and has gotten a lot better. You do have a lot of duplicate apps that Samsung throws in there, which duplicates Google services, but it's something that you, don't have to use. And you can always just use the original Google Service as well. You don't have to use Samsung's version. You can switch out Samsung Internet for Google Chrome. So for people out there who really, who hate on Samsung, I understand why. I can see it. But you got to give them a break at least a little bit, because while they are one of the largest cell phone manufacturers and largest, selling cell phones out there, they're obviously doing something right. And of course, just like with Apple, there's going to be people following blindly into buying the next Galaxy just because they're Galaxy fanatics, and that's totally fine. But objectively, it is still a good phone. I used it for a substantial amount of time. I am back with my iPhone now for no other reason, just that I wanted to try out the new iOS. Or else I'd probably still have my Galaxy, and I'd still be using that regularly just like I was. It's great, fast, performance is top notch. So I think with all else said, if you're looking to pick up a new device, and this is one of them, get it. I would absolutely get it. Or wait until the Note 9 if you're looking for that S Pen functionality, a little bigger screen. Other than that, it's pretty much going to be the same phone, just in a different form factor with an S Pen. That's just what the specs and the speculation is saying. So I would recommend it. I would absolutely get it. I would look for a deal, because I think you can definitely find a deal on this device right now, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So with that said, my name is Jared. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know some people do like the 6 months, some people don't. People argue that, why are you reviewing at 6 months? This thing should last 2-3 years, and they're 100% right. It should, and it will. A lot of people review at 6 months because it shows if the device is going to hold up for those 2 years, what that experience is going to be. So if you can deal with probably 4 updates a year and support for the next few years, you'll be fine. If you're looking for updates every month, you're definitely not going to do that, and especially as time goes on, you'll see it be less and less. I'm sure these will get Android P eventually, probably around Christmas, I would imagine, hopefully sooner. But again, that's not what you're buying into, software updates, if you're getting the unlocked model, this device right here. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.